Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so sorry. We have been having some technical difficulties on our end. Um, I'm trying to get the Zoom connected with with YouTube. So, but anyway, I am just so excited to announce that Harleen Anderson and I will be submitting our manuscript today to our publisher in London. It is the manuscript for collaborative dialogic practice. The subtitle is Generative Relationships and Conversations Across Contexts and Cultures. And so, Harleen, can you say hello here?
Yes, I would also like to say to everyone and to just say today, May the 5th, is Cinco de Mayo, a big holiday in Mexico and also here in Texas. And it's also my mentor, Harry Galishan's birthday, though he's not alive to celebrate. So it's a big day in addition to the second most important day in an author's life. So as Diane said, we're handing over our manuscript today. We're very excited about that. And people have asked, well, how did this book come about? Where did the idea come from? Well, an editor at Routledge contacted us and told us that collaborative therapy had been selling well and was still selling. However, she thought it was important to do a revised edition. Would we be interested in doing that? Well, yes, but, and I was the but, because I'm always thinking about new books and I have several different ideas in line. But I did not want to do a therapy book because more and more people were asking, how do you use the conceptual framework of collaborative dialogic practice and the philosophical stance in other disciplines and other contexts across cultures? So I really wanted to try to respond to that question. Additionally, to this book, rather serendipitously, the Routledge editor and Diane would be at WMFT conference in Austin, Texas. So I thought, well, that's only a 3-hour drive. I'll just drive over there and the three of us can meet. So we did. We met in the bar of the hotel and we had a couple of glasses of champagne or maybe more. And we were brainstorming and ideas just flowing everywhere. And where it landed on was the idea of an edited book that would somehow keep the atmosphere or the essence of the first book, but that it would be a book for and by practitioners. And that's what this book is. It's for practitioners, and all the chapters are written by practitioners. So it's delightful for me to be working with Diane again. She is so organized, so on top of things, and catches things that I don't catch, and I try to help catch things fairly seldom that she doesn't catch. So Diane, let me turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Harleen. And we actually have here today our editor, Heather, from London, is here. Heather, you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to be here, and I'm just as excited to receive the manuscript and how there's been a general buzz about it, and I can't wait to read all of the amazing chapters that are within this edited collection. There's some incredible names and voices, and you know, I wasn't the editor at the time that met you that discussed this book, but I feel very privileged to be here to be able to receive it and take it across that wonderful finishing line.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank everyone who's on YouTube Live for joining us as well.
Absolutely. And I think what's really special about this book, well, first of all, Harleen, your chapters, I think, describe your work in collaborative dialogic practice just so elegant. I think chapter 2 is the best thing Harleen's ever written. So that's my opinion. In terms of just describing how to do this work that's very hard for folks to understand. And so, but in part 2, there is like this worldwide tour of how collaborative dialogic practices are used in just many, many other settings besides psychotherapy. We have describing how it's used in healthcare, literally in communities, communities that are facing lots of different hardships. We have one from a northeast, small, very poor community in is it northwestern or northeastern Brazil. Just incredible what they are doing to just create more humane, communities. And we have folks using it in Mexico, using ancestral knowledge and bringing that into the clinical practice and into the community. We have folks in the Czech Republic using these ideas around supporting groups that are environmental groups that are working to hopefully improve the climate situation on the planet. Different folks using it in schools in amazing ways, especially getting through the pandemic, and IT companies in China. It's just really phenomenal. Just the breadth and the of how these ideas are being used in so many different contexts. And I think the thread that pulls it all together really is just creating more humane relationships, more humane businesses, organizations, and connecting communities in a way where people's voices feel heard. So the work is really powerful at this time, I think, in history. So just so excited to do this. So at this point, and I apologize, we were going to have you see the screen and what we were doing. But at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and describe what actually happens when you submit a manuscript. Because I know many folks always ask me about writing books. So if you're just curious, Heather and Rutledge have handed Harleen and myself a 56-page booklet of instructions for how to submit the manuscript. It is no small thing. And I always tell folks it's true if you're doing a master's thesis or doctoral dissertation, it's the same thing. Like, you think you're done writing, but then actually getting it all to be formatted correctly and submitted in the right way is a whole different thing. So, in order to submit this, we format everything. And with Rutledge, I'm so thankful they let us submit each chapter separately. Um, but it is about, I think, 19 different files. And then I have to create this, submission letter to the editor. And one of the things that, they need to make sure that what we're submitting, the whole manuscript, because if Harleen and I forget something right now, they're going to be really upset with us once it goes into production because it costs them a lot of money. So I have to write an email saying exactly how many files are attached, how many chapters there are. I need to explain all the permissions. So with direct quotes or using artwork, you have to it's the author's job to get the legal rights to all of that. I had to tell them what, we're using APA style. And then I literally have to give them the word count for every single chapter. And that's how they know that they've received everything and we're clear that we've given them everything. And so we have that piece. And then after this, I'm going to go back. I will go ahead and post later a video just showing the flow chart of how books go into production. But it is so much work even after this point to just get it from Word doc files into a book in your hand, where it goes into copy editing. And so there's a whole other round of edits Harleen and I do when it's still usually in a Word document. And then we go into the page proof while they're working on the indexing and the cover are all happening during the same process. I know, Heather, do you want to share anything else about the just process of getting the book from today's email to you to getting a book in someone's hand?
Yeah, so I think you've kind of encapsulated just, the hard work isn't really over when you've submitted the manuscript. It's a constant communication about drafting the back cover copy and ensuring everyone's happy with that. Obviously, we want some lovely endorsements on the back cover, so we talk about that too.
That's right.
We also really enjoy, one of my favorite parts of it is having a look at all the different text designs that we can use for the book and seeing how we can make the book just as useful for readers, but also look really, really pretty, which is That's what everyone wants on their shelf, is a nice looking book as well. And what there's so many people that the book goes kind of through. Obviously, I will read the manuscript. I have a lovely editorial assistant that works alongside me that will assist in organising the cover and the back cover and making sure, as Diane said, about ensuring permissions and everything like that is sorted. And it goes to a typesetter, an indexer, a copy editor, there's a production editor. So it's kind of all hands on deck as soon as we receive a manuscript. But it's the best part of the job, I think, from my end, is when you receive the manuscript and actually see it come to life in that way.
I make a talk about it being an edited book, because it's an edited book with multiple voices from multiple authors, and we gave them permission to really write in whatever writing style they wanted to. So that is a challenge in itself. And our authors were so responsive and so patient with our back and forth as we edited their revisions and as we made comments, or we needed this reference, or we needed that, or are you sure you want to use this word? Might you want to use another word? So wonderful, wonderful authors. They were all absolute delight to work with.
Absolutely. And yeah, having two editors, Harleen would go through it, then I would go through it, and it was quite an experience and quite a lot of file juggling. So at this point, though, I think we're ready. So I'm gonna go, Heather, and I gotta copy Harleen on this because you want to make sure. I'm gonna go ahead and submit this manuscript here. And normally I will just say, normally I'm doing this at like 7:30 on a Friday night because I'm like, I'm gonna get the manuscript out. It always takes like 10 times longer than you think to like just get everything, all the details sorted out. And then it's like you sit there on Friday night all by yourself. It's like this huge moment where I call it the second best moment, because first best moment is the brainstorming and seeing that, table of contents for me. Harleen has a different best moment. You want to share your best moment, Harleen?
Yeah, my first best moment is when an editor contacts you and invites you to consider submitting a manuscript. And I already have so many ideas about books. I think, oh, bingo, which one's going to come up? And this one came up. I was so delighted because this has been on the plate for a long time.
Absolutely. But normally this second best moment is a totally lonely one where you're just sitting there with like the crickets and you're like, oh, I did it. I submitted this. It's done. I mean, it's going to go through this whole other process, but like the big creative part is over and you've achieved your goal. So it's just, I'm thankful for everyone who's joined, even though you've been very patient, because technology was not operating the way we had hoped. But thank you for not letting this be such a lonely moment. It's always such a lonely moment. It's one of the best moments, but it's usually a lonely one. And so I'm so thankful, even though technology is only partially working today, it is still better than sitting alone in a room, hitting send, and nothing, just kind of feeling alone in this big moment. So here we go. I'm going to hit submit. Ta-da! Yes, absolutely. Okay, Heather. You're there in London. It's almost 6 p.m. in London. I know you've stayed late to do this today.
Oh, it's worth it.
Oh, Saliha's asking, what is Harleen's best moment? Is when the editor calls and asks her to do the book. Oh, Sophia, it was hard to hear Harleen. Oh, shoot. I am so sorry. I do not. I live on YouTube and I do not know what has been the deal today. Not YouTube. I live on Zoom, and I am so sorry. So yeah, it was just really hard to hear Harleen. I'm so sorry, but that was her best moment, is when the editor calls. Heather, how are you doing there?
I'm doing okay. I'm just sat waiting. Hopefully it'll be, sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, I think, just because I'm over here.
It's true. UK. But it says it went through. And so it should be there soon in London.
faster than the Concorde.
Seriously.
And whatever this new airplane is they're designing, which is going to take an hour, I understand, or less.
I'm not sure if you could hear that, but that was the little ding saying
Yay!
Manuscript. So
Yay! We did it. Oh my goodness. And you know, through all of this, let's see, I think we've been working on this book for what, 2.5 years, Harleen, I think. And we've had, yeah, we've had at least 3 major fires in Southern California. Harleen has been through a major hurricane, and then the snowstorms were in Texas as well. We've had the pandemic. And we just kept plugging along, trying to get through it all. So again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties, and I am still going to put together a YouTube video that just shows like what a book, what the instruction guides look like, and you know what a book looks like on your computer compared to what it looks like in the real world. For those of you who are curious about that. And Harleen and I are planning to work with all of the authors of the chapters. We have just phenomenal chapters in this book. Dr. Saliha Bava is on the chat with us right now, and I have emailed her and told her that she will be doing some very special work. Her work is incredible around social justice, and I think this world needs it. And so we're going to hopefully be doing some YouTube streams that work better than this. Zoom changed some settings, and we just couldn't get it. We didn't realize that like, some settings got shifted. So we will figure this out, and we will get her on. But you'll get to hear from all the authors. The work is just really incredible of what's being done all around the world in so many different areas. So just very, very, very powerful. So you will see more functional YouTube lives around this book. We promise, we promise. And I believe the book is due to come out sometime between November and January. So we will keep you updated.
And I would like to say it just warms my heart to learn what people are doing. And as Diane said, in such a humanizing way.
Yes. Yes, and so Harleen, hopefully you heard her, but you said it was just seeing what people are doing in such a humanizing way just really warms the heart, and it gives us hope, I think, in a time in history where many of us need hope. And so I really do hope that, I used the word probably too many times there, but no, it's my sincerest hope that this book is able to give the world ideas, possibilities for how to move forward on climate change, around racial and social injustice, all of these very, very difficult issues that we are facing at this time in history. I believe this book really provides some inspiring ways to move forward in a better way. So with that, thank you all for like hanging through us with these technical issues. I promise we will do better our next go round. And Harleen, as loud as you can, could you say goodbye to everyone?
Thank you. I'm right up on my screen by the microphone, speaking very, very loudly. I don't know what the problem is.
Oh my goodness. And Heather, I don't know if you're still there. Oh, they can't hear Harleen or Heather.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, very, very excited. I'm delighted it's in-house. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and all the contributions as well. I think it's going to be wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we were going to say goodbye for now, and I promise we will be back and more functional next time. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.